I suppose it's time to duel yet again. I have to admit, I kinda wish I'd thrown some stuff up in the background, but, you know, I'm just kinda leaving my room a mess at the moment, so I didn't feel like dealing with it. Though, I guess we should get the duels underway. Though I am kinda wondering why people seem to give the zombie class so much crap in this guy at 2 right now. I mean, aptitude-wise, they have pretty similar aptitudes to the wood golem, the highest class one, obviously, compared to the highest class wood golem. You know, they're pretty similar. I mean, so while it's not perfectly the same, you know, it doesn't seem to warrant as much flack as it gets. I mean, the big difference seems to be in the base stats. Zombies at their highest level have a maximum base stat of 130. Without adding in bonuses and stuff. Well, wood golems have 150 and rifle demons 152, 154, something like that. So the base stats might be where they really start to fall behind because they're not going to have as good as growth in those areas. But the zombie, I suppose, could argue makes up for it by having one of the most broken abilities in the game. When the zombie kills something with a normal attack in this guy too, it gets all its HP and SP back. I mean, wood golems got a pretty powerful ability, don't get me wrong. I mean, they regenerate, you know, 20% of their HP back every turn by default. And you actually can improve this to like 40-something%. So with their higher HP, you know, for a base stat and growth rate, they can build on top of that. You know, they're probably, you know, if you're dealing with a lot of reincarnation stuff, going to be just way more god tier on the health recovery in the long run. Albeit a zombie, you know, that has a lot of power could probably make up for its deficiencies with the right equipment to basically reliably heal itself over and over and over again. And wood golems can't regenerate SP, so, you know, they can't constantly spam attacks as easily. And rifle demons only get brought up because they have a pretty solid specialty in that they always hit. Like, no matter what they do, they're always going to connect with the enemy. And that's pretty much always a good ability. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not as useful sometimes, in my opinion, as being able to recover HP and SP, but the higher levels of that game, you know, being able to reliably hit people is arguably even a slightly better ability, maybe. Because you can get to really insane stats in this guy at 2, you know, if you spend a lot of time in the post-game content. So maybe that's how the zombie falls behind, isn't considered usually one of the better classes. I just think it deserves a bit more recognition than it gets. Because it doesn't seem to be as bad as some people make it out to be like, oh, it has bad aptitudes. Like, it has a similar aptitude percentage, you know, when you add it all up as rifle demons and wood golems. When you're comparing their highest classes, it's their base stats where they're going to start to fall behind because they have less HP and attack. You know, by about 10 points apiece. So yeah, that's where they get caught up on. Actually, I think the health difference is, yeah, between a base stat highest level zombie and wood golem is actually like 20 points. So yeah, that's pretty extreme. But again, you know, like the zombie's ability just seems, you know, really useful until you get to like the super high levels. Like, I love free recovery, man. I've used that in games to just absolutely crush my enemies. Especially in Everton's deck, because one of the cards in that game would actually give you free, actually I guess it would be a free recovery basically if you could cast it. Because it'd give you so much SP back, you'd be able to just recharge so you could play any card you want in your deck again the next turn. So I basically had one healer that basically just spammed that over and over and over again. Like, this healer just gets this one card put in their deck because the game didn't limit you on how many copies you could have in a deck or how many cards you had to have in a deck. Which is a really bad design decision, in my opinion. Like, the only way it could have been worse is if they gave me a card that let me, you know, basically continuously lock my opponent down at the same time. I mean, being able to basically negate all their attacks and stuff, you know, it's already pretty damn powerful, but if I could perpetually lock them down, it'd make it an even more broken setup. What I found funny is the developer told me, like, no one's beaten my optional super boss. I'm just like, that's because you've been having people beta test this game that don't know how. Because I completely whooped that thing's butt, you know, without even trying. Sometimes it pays, you know, to bring in a pro. At least when it comes to like RPGs, I guess maybe I consider myself somewhat of a pro, though I'm definitely not good at like super min-maxing things. But I'm willing to poke around the innards sometimes to find just absolutely broken combos. And then exploit them to the max. I definitely did that in Lux and Allure. Like, I got to the point where I could kick the final boss's butt even on the highest difficulty setting in like, what, less than like 10 minutes from first form to final form? I think I may have got down to like slightly under 8 minutes. Like, I was just tearing him into butthole, just like really, really badly. Come on. Well, that's not bad. I like it. I need some good damage there. Thank you, Toon Alligator. Guess I'll have some soda. I mean, at least the zombies don't get bad as Shedinja, I suppose. I always feel bad for Shedinja. Has one of the most powerful abilities in existence, but can never actually make use of it. Like, I'm immune to all elemental attacks I'm not weak to. I'm like, yeah, if you were a better monster, that would actually be absolutely broken, man. It's too bad you're garbage. Because in the hands of, you know, something like Sableye in Gen 3 that had no weaknesses, it probably would be like a pretty high contender in Pokemon battles, I imagine. Because you'd have to take care of it with, like, secondary effects, like Toxic or something. Like, you would have to work around it and make sure you always had something in your team that could deal with it if someone dropped it. Which, let's face it, if it was immune to all attacks, it'd probably get switched in a lot just to screw with the opponent. Just to be like, oh, this attack did nothing. Though I suppose Sableye's effectiveness would be mostly limited down to, you know, not having to worry about team preview. Because if someone knew you had, they'd probably, you know, try and work around it a bit more. No, let's see. Yeah, I suppose it's time to get rid of you, because I know the last card's Raigeki. I could also just take the hit. Screw it. Let's just fuse. Sadly, it's not going to be a particularly great fusion, but screw it. We'll put you in Sun Mode and turn you to defense. You can come at me, bro. Can you break my wall? I mean, I suppose if he gets out the certain dragon, he could. But can he? That's the question. Wow, 2,800. Truly a fearsome warrior. You know it's weird when I'm attacking with a mystical elf. Like mystical elf, go! Like you couldn't pick something else. Like no. I hardly ever get to attack with a mystical elf. Why wouldn't I pick it? Okay. Pretty sure I got some trap cards left. Let's just try and thin the deck a bit to see if we can find a couple before time's up. After all, I would like to get A or S class here. Come on. Still nothing. Well, darn. I guess I'll throw you out there. At least this way we can hopefully lure in an effective attack and lower our ranking that way. Yep, let's just magic it off the field. I don't know, maybe I'll work on Phantom Brave again at some point. Albeit I'd probably make that game too easy. Because I just abuse failures, dungeons and stuff. Yeah, I knew I had one more trap card, it just had to be on the very bottom of my deck, didn't it? Yeah, I definitely don't want to fuse that into my Mystical Elf, because then I'd lose it. We could watch the Special Effects Fest, but it'd probably look awful, so let's not. And let's just swing for game. There's no point in delaying the inevitable at this point. Now please give me something good. Come on. Show me. Finally! We finally got a third one! It only took 176 wins, and we finally got 3 of them. Damn. You know what? I'm going to call it quits here, because I'm just so happy that we finally got it. Like, jeez. Of course, now I got to go work on other cards. Like, it never ends. But we're one step closer, I suppose. Until next time, then. See ya.